Raila is the one who made this happen to you.
Of course, my friend. Did he condemn it? Did he go to my home to see? He rushed to Jimmy Wanjigi's home just a few months before, when Jimmy Wanjigi was just threatened with an arrest. Raila slept there for 2 days. Baba? I don't call him Baba. I swore in Raila Odinga.
Okay.
Yes.
You swore in
Raila Amolo Odinga. He's not your father. Don't denounce your father. You have a father.
But you can have more than one.
No, you have only one father. Your DNA traces directly to your father.
So you don't believe in the Baba name?
He isn't Baba.
Okay. Prime Minister.
I only call two people Baba. The God and my father.
Okay.
Nobody else deserves that title.
Okay.
Yeah.
His Excellency, the Prime Minister, Raila Odinga.
It's Raila Amolo Odinga. Titles are not names.
Okay. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Which most of us were just like, treason, treason, this is gonna be it.
How is it treasonable?
You're swearing in another president, there was another president.
There was no president. First of all, I didn't recognize Uhuru Kenyatta as president, and I have never done so. As far as I'm concerned, Uhuru Kenyatta was an illegitimate president. He was not legitimately elected. He imposed himself on power. Twice. He did not win the 2013 election, and he did not win the 2017 election. That's a fact. You see, the reason they couldn't take me to court, because they knew they couldn't prove Uhuru won if I was confronted with that question. They could not bring that question to me because they knew I would be able to prove beyond any reasonable doubt that Uhuru Kenyatta was not a legitimate president.
Okay.
He was an imposter. He should be the one charged with treason.
So when you did the swearing in, you recognized Raila as the president?
Correct. He was the president. And up to now, I believe he's the one who won the election. Unfortunately, Raila is so cowardly, ran away from his own power. I gave him the power, which he deserved, because he won an election. But the cowardly, greedy man ran away from it and recognized an illegitimate imposter. See, that's the tragedy of Africa. Had Raila refused to surrender, we would have complete democracy in Kenya. Elections would never be questioned. Nobody would say, oh, were these elections legitimate? People would recognize the results because we would have put an end to it. But because we did not put an end to it, that's why he's still making noise. Nyef, nyef. If he had done what I told him to do, he would not be crying on the streets today. Let him cry very loudly.
So you believe if Raila stuck to his guns right now, we'd be having Raila as a president?
No, I said we would have legitimate democracy that everybody recognizes. And if you have elections, nobody would say, my election, my victory was stolen. No. People would recognize the results because we would have ended electoral injustice. That was my purpose. I wanted to end electoral injustice, which we have had since 1964. Kenyatta was never elected.
Yeah, a lot of people don't run us back that time.
People don't recognize the fact that in 1964, Kenya was a parliamentary state. It was not a presidential system. And KANU, as a party, won the election and KADU lost. Kenya African Democratic Union lost. And because KANU won, the leader of KANU became prime minister. He was not elected. Kenyans elected KANU, not Kenyatta.
The party.
So once Kenyatta became prime minister in 1964, he decided to transform himself into a president without an election. There was no election in 1964. There was no general election. And there ought to have been. That was the birth of tyrannical and democratic governance in Kenya. Because whenever you're changing a constitution and bringing in a new order, you need to have either a referendum where universal suffrage prevails, or you have one man or one woman vote where people decide which direction they took. But this did not happen. So Kenyatta, people woke up one day and Kenyatta was president. Then he decided through choreography with Jaramogi and Tom Mboya to create a one-party state. They made KANU cross the floor in parliament and join, KADU joined KANU. And they merged into one party called KANU. So Kenya became de facto one-party state. There was no opposition. That was the beginning of the problems. And it took us from that time up to 2002 to correct that situation. Once that situation was corrected, we should never have reverted back to where we were before. But we did. By the time Uhuru Kenyatta is exiling me with Raila Odinga, we were worse than 1964, 1966. Because even though Jomo Kenyatta detained Jaramogi, banned KPU, and detained his colleagues, he never exiled them. He never told them, Jaramogi, you went to school in Makerere, therefore you are a Ugandan. He didn't say that. So, but look at what Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga did. They said, I'm not a Kenyan. And they knew I was a Kenyan. I ran for elections in Kenya in 2017. I tried to vie in 2007. I was his advisor for 3 years. How in the world did I turn into something else? The passport they said was not mine. They issued to me. And I traveled all over the world with it. I went to China, I went to the US, I went to Canada, I went to many countries using the same passport they said was illegal. So how come these countries did not see this passport as not being legitimate? In anybody's mind, does Kenya have more sophisticated equipment than the United States of America to be able to detect what is fake?
So basically that was serving a purpose then.
They feared me. They feared me and the National Revolutionary Movement, the NRM. Okay. They feared it, right? But why would Raila fear movement he helped create and that he was a member of? Right? Raila is the one who declared to the country the formation of NRM and said the National Rainbow Coalition had transformed itself into NRM. He said it. But like he did with other things before, he ran away from it. Remember how 1982 did not come out to be successful? The same Raila Odinga, a coward, betrayed his comrades. The same way he betrayed me.
Betrayed his comrades?
They were hanged, he was not. Why? Have you ever wondered why Raila was not hanged and Ochuka was? Ochuka was simply a senior private in the army, in the Air Force, right? So who could have been the leader of that movement? A private in the army or Raila Odinga, the son of Jaramogi? Who had the money to fund the coup? Ochuka private was earning less than 10,000 shillings. Could actually do a coup? Have you guys wondered? But he was hanged. Wow. Uriwe Hongo was hanged. Ogido Bon was hanged. Many others, junior officers were hanged. Raila Odinga survived. How? Ask yourself. How was Raila saved? What saved him? Because he betrayed his comrades, just like he betrayed me. I was going to be killed just like Musandu was killed, right? In 2018.
Yeah.
When they came at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, police don't arrest people at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, right? They could have come during daytime, correct? Or they could have waited until morning, right? They didn't. They could have knocked. They didn't. What did they do? An explosive They bombed their way through.
It was not a tear gas canister.
How does a tear gas explode steel and break it into pieces and give you access to a house which is sealed off by, you know, good strong steel? My house was properly protected. They got in. You went, the media went there. Yeah. You saw the pictures. The metal was crushed, right?
So you believed Raila was the one who made this happen to you?
Of course, my friend. Did he condemn it? Did he go to my home to see? He rushed to Jimmy Wanjigi's home just a few months before, when Jimmy Wanjigi was just threatened with an arrest. Raila slept there for 2 days. Jimmy Wanjigi, who is not a revolutionary, who has never fought for anybody, who has never stood up for anything. Jimmy Wanjigi, the baron, okay, the dealer. Raila stayed in his house for 2 days. When did Jimmy Wanjigi stand for change in this country?
Right now, he is campaigning with he's going to run for presidency.
Did he get his degree? Has he graduated from Daystar? Have you seen?
No.
The media would have covered his graduation ceremony, right? Chebukati said, you don't have a degree. Show us your degree. He couldn't. The man spent 4 years in Canada, came back without a degree. Right? He has spent I don't know how many years at Daystar, no degree. So who is going to clear him?
Kenya. Let's come
My friend, you guys like, you just like drama.
Let's come a bit to the Raila story. You said you went to Wanjigi's place when Wanjigi had a situation. What if the reason why he did not come to your place because of the situationship you guys have had in the past?
What past? We were together. We were together. And
before this together.
No, forget about before this together.
Vurugu.
No, that's not true. You see, Obina, what people don't understand and what people refuse to acknowledge is that I helped Raila become prime minister in 2007. Right?
Okay.
Together with others. It was not me who became prime minister, it was him. But who made him prime minister? People like us, right? And once he became prime minister, I became his advisor. From the time I was his advisor, 2009 to 2011, there was no vurugu. There was no controversy. There was no one scandal. There was no negative headline news about me. So how come the so-called vurugu only come in when Raila betrays me? That was the first betrayal. Raila told me to write an article about Isaac Hassan, the former chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission. Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. And I did, on instruction. Once the article came, and you know I don't write tepid articles, it came strongly like my articles always come.
Yeah, definitely.
And everybody was scurrying and running away and making noise, right? Raila then turned around and suspended me because I wrote the article, which he told me to write. He's the one who instructed me to write the article. I have it in writing. Once I wrote the article, I gave him to approve, and he approved. I have that in writing. The article came out, and then he accused me of misrepresenting the office of the Prime Minister and suspended me on the basis of that article. That's why I call him a conman. That's what a conman does. He sends you to fetch water, you bring water, then you say you stole the water.